building a boulder house in Minecraft. So I'm going to start with the boulder here, as you would if you're building a giant boulder house. And I'm doing this the same way I built the other big boulder, starting with sort of a round egg shape, and then tapering it up as I go along, and of course adding tuff and other blocks for texturing. And since this is a big boulder, it's going to be hard to get the shape exactly how I want it, because now that I'm looking at it, this is not a great shape. How is this shaping up here? I do kind of like this. I need some more on this side, and I need a little bit more over here. I'm actually kind of liking this shape now. This is really coming together. I don't know how normal people build shapes like this, like on Java, because you have all these tools like Axiom and stuff and World Edit. I'm assuming that for certain shapes, people just use one of the presets and then adjust it to how they like. But I'm on Bedrock. I can't really do that. I know there are things on Bedrock you can do that are kind of similar. I've used structure blocks a little bit. I haven't really used them a whole lot. Only when there was a complex structure that I didn't want to rebuild multiple times. Or if I was like moving something. I know I had to move a clock tower at the college a while back, so I just used a structure block there. But normally I don't use structure blocks or commands, anything when I'm building. I just freehand everything. This side is still a little weird. Yeah, the way I could get this shape is this side could almost be in the ground, right? No, it's almost at an angle. I would need to make this side a little bit bigger, almost like it's facing upward, I guess. Maybe, hold on. Like that? Yeah. I think just like that works fine. I understand why people use tools and stuff to get shapes right, because this is kind of challenging. You know what? I'm not going to play with it anymore. I think this is a fine shape. Now I need to add the moss on top. And of course, I'm adding a little bit of mossy cobblestone to blend it, with some stone bricks thrown in here and there. Yeah, actually I think moss would fit a lot better across the top. Not just on the very top level, but all along the top of this boulder. I think that's a good amount of moss, so I'll just go ahead and add back all of the mossy cobblestone, along with a little bit of this mossy stone brick. Oh, see, now that might be too much moss on the top. Okay, if I texture everything properly, it might be fine. You know, I've heard the medium of film described as the constant solving of problems. And I do have to agree with that statement, because the little film work that I've done, I mean, it was just one problem after another. And I feel like Minecraft builds can kind of be the same way. Especially if you're just winging it like I always do. Okay, I don't just wing it in survival. In survival, I like to have plans about what I'm building so that I can get the materials I need, everything, and it just makes life a lot easier to have a plan in survival mode, whereas in creative, I just place blocks and see what happens. Okay, there we go. That's our nice boulder. That's actually quite a nice boulder. I can't even lie to you. And I haven't even added all the slabs and stuff yet. How foolish of me. I completely forgot. Okay, I feel like that's a good amount of half slabs for now. If I get inspired, I'll add some more later. But I think now's a good time to shout out the person who gave me this idea. So on my original Boulder YouTube short, WormholeStudiosDev left a comment saying, "Now carve it and make it into a house." So that's exactly what I'm doing. Granted, it's not the same boulder. That boulder was a little too small. So I decided to make a new one that had more room to build this house. So I had some ideas for this. Definitely want to get a fireplace with a chimney. I think that would be cool. Some windows in here. Yeah, a loft could be cool. I don't know if there's much room for a loft. Maybe like right here. Yeah, there isn't a ton of room, but we're gonna make this work. So for our floor, this might seem a little odd to have mud brick down here, but I feel like realistically, I mean, this isn't realistic, of course. A big boulder would be a little hard to carve an entire house out of, but mud brick would be a more accessible block than, I mean, a hardwood floor, right? You aren't going to put a hardwood floor in here. So we have our mud brick floor with a little bit of this packed mud texture. And I think the first thing we should build is this fireplace. Tough brick is the obvious pick. We'll have a small campfire with some smoke. Probably need to put a hay bale. Yeah, definitely need to put a hay bale under it. There we go. That's basically done. Not quite. Or put some half slabs like right there. But I feel like this needs a little bit more depth. I don't want to overdo it though. I'll stick with that. And then I'll have that. That looks pretty dwarven to me. At least dwarven in the context of my forever world. Oh, I forgot to add some of those down there too. Okay. Yeah, I think that looks cool. We'll want to add a kind of comfy chair. And as the CEO of chairs, apparently, because a ton of people watched that video and liked it, we'll put down a nice little chair right here. Yeah, I think just like out in the middle. Out in the middle would actually work. Nice. And then we'll make a little kitchen space with some barrels and a cauldron. We'll have some of this stuff built into the wall. Add some lanterns. Okay, maybe not that many lanterns. We can add some other details up there. A little crafting table. Add some other bookshelves over here. Some nice bookshelves like that. And we'll want to add some real shelves as well. Maybe we could display something above the fireplace. I like how it looks, but I kind of like that more. We'll add another lantern there. And then, oh, we can carve out a little bit more here, I think, just for some extra room. And I just realized I forgot to build the chimney. So we'll want some of this. I might do a transition to stone here. That's definitely too tall. Actually, something like, well, 1 block higher, but something like that could work. Okay, I got another idea. So, yeah, we'll put those at the top. I do kind of like that. This style, anyway. I'm trying to make it a little bit darker at the top, as if this chimney gets a lot of use, you know. I know I should actually use the cobble deep slate, wherever that is in here. Yeah, like that. You know what? I am actually really liking this so far. We'll do the exterior later. So now it's time to build the loft. And I don't quite know how I'm going to do this. See, I don't want it to be all the way to the door because then it's going to be a little bit... It might feel a little bit too confined. Add our stairs here. So the idea is to have something like this. Now, there really isn't much room. So this will have to just be this small loft then, I think. I can expand it a little bit this way. Like this. I think for a banister we could have that. On the outside though. And we still run into the problem of having just a beam in the middle. Maybe something like this would work? Yeah, kinda. Let me replace my crafting table. Okay, then come up here. Add a lantern there. We'll add a few more details. Oh. Nice. And then a bed. We'll go with the classic red bed. Yeah, I actually prefer that bed placement because then we have a little bit more room. We'll add some more stuff down here. I'm thinking some bookshelves probably, and a chest right there. Of course, you cannot forget your jukebox. That's not a good spot. You know what I'm trying to say here though. You cannot forget your jukebox. Right there. And now I think I'll add a little rug, just maybe in the center of the room. Your colors, I think yellow could work, brown could work. That color, I do kind of like the brown color there. I'll do a yellow and a brown, I think. Okay, maybe not right here. You want? I'll add a little carpet right here instead. See, yellow and brown, it's kind of a weird color combo, but it does kind of work though. And I guess I could add a small carpet right here, or one up here. I'll do a little red and white carpet, I think, to match the bed. Poland carpet. So after adding most of the details on the interior, then we can move to the exterior. So either the cobble deep slate would work, or some mangrove wood. I think the cobble deep slate looks fine for the palette. I feel like it's just not enough color though. So we'll go with some of that. Yeah, I might stick with that. I don't know. Then I'll go back inside and find a spot to add some windows. I think... Oh, right there. That's gonna have to work, I think. Nice little window there. Now we could add a window up here at the loft. I guess. Yeah, if we did this, and then if I took one of those and added it there, that would work. And then I want to add one back here somewhere. Maybe right here. There we go. And then there are a few exterior details that I'm going to work on. And then there are a few exterior details I'm going to work on. First of which, setting some coarse dirt around here. Because we don't want our boulder to just look like it's been placed here, right? We want it to look like it's been here for a while. And I'll grab some cobblestone and we'll make a nice path here. Add just a little bit of gravel around here and there. So now we're going to add a few more details to the front of the boulder house. Extend the path out a little bit, I think, in this direction. I think we should add a little piece of farmland somewhere around here. So I'll use mangrove and spruce, I think. So we'll have our little farm here. We're going to have our gate. Yeah. And I'd say that's a nice shape. I'll cut down this tree. While the leaves are despawning, then I'll grab some water and a hoe. And what kind of crop do we want? I was just gonna put normal wheat down. I think that'll be enough. Hopefully this will be enough water. Alright. And then I can either add trapdoors, which I do like trapdoors, because it blends with the ground a little bit better. Or you can do lily pads. I don't know, I prefer trapdoors. And I'll put trapdoors on top of all of these. And then grab my torches, put my torches here. And I think a hanging lantern would be cool, so I'll put one... You know what, I'll put it somewhere over here so it doesn't block the view of the house. Add some coarse dirt and gravel around it. Yeah. What I could add is a little seating area, maybe right over here. And I'll add some more coarse dirt and stuff over here too. Because you have to, you know. Anyway, I think this place is done. At least for now. I might add some more stuff to this in the future. Maybe whenever I end up making a Forever World video, you'll see some more of that. But for now, this is done. Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. And if you watched it for this long, I mean, hey, you might as well subscribe. Helps out the channel a lot. It's completely free. Or you could leave a comment and suggest what I could build next in my Forever World. Anyway, again, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you all later.